Today, we're diving into one of the most incredible processes in all of life. We're talking about mitosis, the great cellular divide.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about that? You, right now, are made of trillions of cells, but you started as just one. So how on earth does that happen? Well, the answer is this beautifully choreographed dance that's happening inside your body as we speak.
So why do cells need to divide in the first place? Why can't we just be made of one giant supercell? Well, it really just comes down to logistics. You see, as a cell gets bigger, it gets way less efficient. It becomes a real struggle to get nutrients in and waste out. So for our bodies to grow, to repair themselves, and just to survive, we need a constant supply of fresh, new, efficient cells. And there's one key process that makes all of that possible.
And that process is mitosis. It's how one single parent cell carefully, meticulously duplicates itself to create two absolutely identical daughter cells. The whole point here isn't to create something new, it's to make a perfect clone. Think of it as the ultimate biological copy and paste function.
But, a cell can't just decide to split on a whim. There's a lot of prep work involved. Before the main event even begins, it has to go through this super important preparation phase called interphase. This is where all the critical work happens behind the scenes.
And the single most important job during interphase, it has to make a complete, absolutely flawless copy of all of its DNA. We're talking about 6 feet of genetic material, all packed into a microscopic nucleus. It's like duplicating the master blueprint for a building. If you want to build 2 identical houses, you're going to need 2 identical sets of plans, right? It's the exact same idea for cells.
Okay, so once that DNA is copied and ready to go, the show can begin. And it helps to think of mitosis as a kind of 4-act drama. It's this highly structured performance with really distinct steps to make sure everything goes off without a single hitch.
So, what are our 4 acts? They are prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Let's walk through what happens in each one.
All right, Act 1, prophase.
This is the getting organized phase. All that copied DNA, which is usually just a loose tangle, starts to coil up and condense into those classic X-shaped chromosomes you've probably seen in textbooks. While that's happening, the membrane around the nucleus dissolves, basically setting the chromosomes free inside the cell.
Next up, Act 2 is metaphase. An easy way to remember this one is M for middle.
And that's exactly what happens here. The chromosomes perform this perfectly synchronized maneuver, lining up in a single file right at the equator of the cell. It's like a cellular roll call, making absolutely sure that when the big split happens, each new cell gets exactly one copy of every single chromosome. No more, no less.
And now for the most action-packed part of the show, anaphase. For this one, think A for apart.
So if metaphase was all about getting in line, anaphase is the powerful separation. The 2 identical halves of each of those X-shaped chromosomes, they're called sister chromatids, are forcefully pulled apart by tiny fibers. They get yanked to opposite ends of the cell. This is the great divide in action.
And that brings us to our final act, telophase. The job is almost done. For this one, you can think T for 2, because the cell is now building 2 new command centers.
A brand new nuclear membrane starts to form around each of the 2 sets of chromosomes, and the chromosomes themselves start to uncoil and relax, going back to their normal tangled state. So what we have now is one long cell, but with 2 identical nuclei inside.
The drama of mitosis is over, but there's one last step to make the split official and create 2 truly separate, individual cells.
This final cut is called cytokinesis. The rest of the cell's contents, the cytoplasm, divides as the outer membrane pinches inward right at the center. It just keeps pinching until, snap, it separates completely.
And the result of all that work? 2 brand new, genetically identical daughter cells. Each one has a full set of DNA, and they're ready to get to work or, eventually, divide all over again.
So, okay, it's a cool little biological process, but why does any of this matter? Well, it matters because this relentless, perfect copying is what allows us to exist, to grow, and to heal.
I mean, think about it. Mitosis is what drives our growth from a single cell into the person you are today. It's the cellular paramedic that repairs your body. Like when a paper cut heals, that's mitosis in action. And it's our body's maintenance crew, constantly replacing billions of old, worn-out cells every single day of our lives.
There's a great way to put it. Mitosis is the engine of life, tirelessly building and rebuilding our bodies one cell at a time.
It's this quiet, constant, and totally essential process happening inside all of us, all the time.
And that leaves us with one last really crucial question. The whole goal of mitosis is to make a perfect copy. So, what happens when that copying process goes wrong? When it's not so perfect? Well, that's a story for another time.